What's up, guys? This is Mimi Pantalones, and today we're going to play some nice old school Jak and Daxter. They just released, oh, it didn't just release, but they released the PlayStation 4 remake or remaster, and oh my goodness, the nostalgia is real on this one, so I am super, super excited. I don't need play hints. I do wish that I could turn on subtitles from here, but I think I have to do it in-game if it'll still let me. Just look at that title screen, man. All its glory. Okay, I'm done fucking around. I'm so sorry.
I have spent my life searching for the answers that my father and my father's fathers failed to find. Who were the precursors? Why did they create the vast monoliths that litter our planet? How did they harness eco, the life energy of the world? What was their purpose? And why did they vanish? I have asked the plants, but they do not remember. The plants have asked the rocks, but the rocks do not recall. Even the rocks do not recall. Every bone in my body tells me that the answers rest on the shoulders of a young boy. Oblivious to his destiny, uninterested in the search for truth, and rejecting of my guidance. And why would he want to listen to old Samus the Sage anyway? I'm only the master of green eco, one of the wisest men on the planet. So it seems the answer begins not with careful research or sensible thinking. Nay, as with many of fate's mysteries, it begins with but a small act of disobedience.
Hey! Jak, old green stuff told us not to come here.
Oh, this is so good, guys.
Continue your search for artifacts and eco. If the locals possess precursor items, you know what to do.
Deal harshly with anybody who strays from the village.
Why is her voice not wonky? I've never understood.
What are we doing here anyway, Jak? This place gives me the creeps.
It's really hard for me to not quote this as it's going.
Huh? Oh, stupid precursor junk. Eek! What is that dark ooze? It sure don't look friendly. The sage yaps on about the precursors that built this place all the time. Where did they go? Why did they build this crud? Now, I like precursor orbs and power cells as much as the next guy. But if you ask me, they must have been real losers. Wow! How did you do that? I think we're in trouble! Ow!
I also love how intimidating that guy is. He gets taken out in 2 hits.
Man, that stung! I told you we shouldn't have come here, and you listened! What? Okay. I'm fine.
God, I'm dead. I love this so much.
What in green tarnation do you two want?
I was...
Don't tell me! Instead of heeding my wisdom, the two of you went mucking around in the only place that I told you not to go. Misty Island.
That's right. And then
And, Daxter, you finally took a much-needed bath, but in a bathtub filled with dark eco.
look, old man. Are you gonna keep yapping, or are you gonna help me out of this mess?
I'm gonna keep yapping, because in my professional opinion, the change is an improvement. And besides, I couldn't help you if I wanted to.
What?
There's only one person who has studied Dark Eco long enough to have a chance at returning you to your previous form. Carl Acheron, the Sage. But he lives far to the north. Far, far to the north. Nobody has spoken to him in ages. I would teleport you there, but I can't do that either. None of the 3 sages that maintain the other teleporter gates have seen fit to turn their ends on for quite a while. The only other way north is by foot through the Fire Canyon, but its volcanic soil is hot enough to melt precursor metal. You can't just walk through it.
But you could fly over it.
This
if
is
you
the
had
first
a zoom
girl I
equipped
wanted to
with a heat
cosplay.
shield. I just happen to be working on such a thing at this very moment. All I would need is 20 power cells to give it enough energy to withstand the canyon's heat. Isn't that right, Daddy?
Yes, Kira, that might work. But where are a boy and a half going to get 20 power cells?
From the villagers. Most of them have a power cell or two stashed away somewhere. And even if they aren't willing to just give them away, greasing their palms with a few precursor orbs should do the trick. And I bet there are even more of them out in the wilds just waiting for some brave adventurer to find.
Well, we've got the brave adventurer at least.
Brave adventurer! You two couldn't find your way out of the village without training. Before you do anything else, you better go through the warp gate and get some practice on Geyser Rock.
We
Oh,
won't find
shit,
any
I
more
forgot
of that
about
dark
this.
gooey eco stuff, will we? Cause I'd hate to fall in again and turn into you.
Get in there before I turn you both into ferns.
I totally forgot about the training section. Okay. So, for those of you who have never played this, this is Jak and Daxter. It's a PlayStation 2 game. It's what Naughty Dog came out with after the wonder that was Crash Bandicoot. Oh, I think since I turned off helpful hints, it's not going to do the little mini cutscenes. Normally there's like a mini cutscene there where it's Kira talking and she's just like, yeah, it's a precursor cell or whatever the fuck she says. I don't know. I don't think I can invert anything on here, which is good. Okay, cool. So, God, this game is pretty much one of the staples of my childhood. It's actually another one of the pieces that I'm planning to get on my half sleeve. I just need more money. But I'm getting a precursor orb, because that's one that stays pretty consistent throughout the series, is the orb itself, not the power cells. So yeah, that's my plan. And then here, Samus would tell you, that's blue eco, it's the eco of speed. Speed eco. Oh my goodness. Ha! Which means I can open the door with that because there's not a cutscene. Oh my gosh. I also remember the first time I played this and I thought that I would die if I fell in water. So I was like, oh god, how do I get these orbs? So originally, I was going to record this entire game in one sitting. Not like in one episode or anything, but I was gonna do, oh god, 20-minute episodes. It takes me about 7 hours. However many episodes the math of that is, because I don't feel like doing it while playing. But originally that was my plan. I was like, yeah, no, I'm just gonna spend the entire day. I'm gonna record the entirety of Jak and Daxter. And everyone was like, hey, but like, why would you do that to yourself? And I was like, oh hey, ow. I was like, hey, well, like, why not? I love this game. Oh, I bet, yeah, they're on the way to that. I was like, I don't mind at all. Like, if anything, it'll be fun. And then I was trying to think about it. And I was like, you know what, though? Honestly, the thought of talking actually constantly for 7 hours. Let me see if I can glitch my way up here. Yeah, I can, cool. The thought of talking actually constantly for 7 hours, I don't know about you. It sounds pretty terrible, to be completely honest. Like, that's a lot of talking. And I already feel, for what it's worth, I have like a huge backlog of games right now already. I've been super into basically starting this up as like a new passion of mine. So I mean, I've beaten 2 indie games and I have 7 weeks from those 2. And then my friend Shannon and I started recording Bomberman, which is probably out by this point. And we had a week of that, but I think we're just gonna release those separately. From there, I had like a week of Monster Hunter, even though I wasn't super into it. And then I'm gonna have this entire game basically as a backlog to come out later.
Good training, boys. But that's nothing compared to the challenges that lie ahead.
Then no problem. We got the moves, eh, Jak? We'd love to stay and chat, Big Green, but we're, itching to get on with our adventures.
Fine. Adventure away, then. And while you're out adventuring, why don't you make yourself useful? My darn green eco-collectors are clogged up again. Head out to the far side of the beach and clear them out, why don't you? Follow the lamps. They'll take you right there. Now, all of you, get out of here!
God, I love Samus. Also, hello.
Hey, baby. What do you say you and I go cruising on this A-Grav Zoomer?
Rule number 1, I don't date animals.
You don't know what you're missing.
Listen, if you need something to keep you busy, my father always talked about an ancient precursor pipeline hidden deep underground. Some of these pipes end in vents from which eco flows freely, and some have been capped off so that the eco is sealed back. There must be a way to turn the capped vents on. I traced part of the pipeline back to the Forbidden Temple. Maybe you should look there for some type of switch.
Okay. So we have a lot of things that we can do right now, but the overarching thing is we have to get 20 power cells. It sounds like a lot. It is not a lot. In fact, I am going to 100% this game because that's who I am as a person. And fun fact of that, I will have enough power cells by, oh gosh, by the 3rd level that I won't have to actually get any in that section. I believe is true. I believe that's a fact. Oh my gosh. So PlayStation 2 was really my system. It was the one that we had. I mean, we had a Super Nintendo back when I was little. In fact, I still have that same one, and it still does work. We pretty much only have it on display now because we have a Retron. that'll play everything, so there's no need to have, you know, like everything out. But this was the next thing we had. I mean, I don't even remember us having a PlayStation 1. I think we just got a 2. So this was, I mean, I still have a huge just fucking pile of games that are all PlayStation 2 games. Yeah, I know, Fire Canyon. It's fine. But Jak and Daxter series, I rebeat probably at least once a year. I haven't in a couple years, though. I think I did maybe last year. But it had been a little bit before that. And then Ratchet and Clank series, really big as well. Which that one's harder for me to rebeat because it's so monotonous for me now. That was one of those games that I used to constantly play, though. It was like there was no break because we didn't always have new games. We just had the system, so we would just rebeat our favorites. And that's how my brother and I, you know, like, got by, was rebeating the same games over and over.
And not getting burnt out on them. I think it was just one of those, we realized that there wasn't really an alternative, so it was not getting burnt out on the games that you had, or get burnt out and then you don't have games to play. It's a pretty easy choice then. So, but no, so I used to play through the Jak and Daxter series up through 3 a lot. Jak X Racing I almost finished once, but I'm truly terrible at racing games. We used to play a lot of them when I was younger. My brother and I, we would play like Gran Turismo together, or like with my dad as well, because he played racing games. But I never caught on. I was never very good at it. So I played the first 3 Jak and Daxters and played all 4 PlayStation 2 Ratchet and Clanks, of course. So Ratchet and Clank, and then going Commando, Up Your Arsenal, and Deadlocked, which I didn't like as much because Clank wasn't on you and I missed the big jumps. But I wound up also playing through all of the Sly Cooper series, of course. It's I think it's my favorite series of all time. But all 3 of those, and then of course the PS3 Ratchet and Clanks and the PS3 the PS3 Sly Cooper. But I also played through Tak and the Power of Juju. I only beat it maybe a handful of times, and I wound up selling it to get other stuff instead. But it was fun while I played it. I just don't remember much about it anymore. But those were like my go-tos as a kid. Or like if I had friends over, it was Simpsons Road Rage. So it was always a good time. But I don't know, thinking about my childhood, it's all like Super Nintendo and PlayStation 2, and one time I played Guitar Hero at a friend's house and my life was changed, and then I tried really hard to do that, and I was like, oh, you know what? I can play Guitar Hero. I'm gonna try guitar. And let me just say, bad idea, Michelle. Did not work out too good in my favor. I did take lessons for a little bit, and it's not that even I was bad at it or anything. I didn't have the, I can't think of the word. It's like maybe just the dedication to it. Like, I wanted to learn how to do it, sure, because it would have been cool, but I didn't want to like dedicate to learning guitar, and you really have to dedicate to things like that. I did not. I played sports that I always bailed out of, and there was 19 other things that I wanted to try. I was always just kind of going, and video games are really the only thing that stuck with me as I got older. I mean, I stopped all my sports by high school, and I don't even remember other stuff. I mean, like, even certain friends that I had hung out with kind of quit by high school, and video games were my one thing that I always had, that I always did. It's just been like the one constant in my life has been, you know, gaming, and it's really crazy to me to think about it actually objectively right now. I've never really thought about it, but in any case, my brother played a lot of, I think he had Grand Theft Auto 3, if if I remember right. But like I said, he also played Gran Turismo. He played Need for Speed Underground 2, and he never let me play it. So I would always try and bribe him and be like, oh, I'll share my game if you let me try, Need for Speed. And he was just like, wow, you don't even play racing games. And I was like, no, please, I just want to try it. Even if I'm terrible, I like the soundtrack and it looks like fun. You can paint the cars. And so he'd play my games, and then I never got to play his games. I never once played Grand Theft Auto. Never once played Need for Speed Underground. It's stupid. It was a total ripoff, and I hope when he listens to this, he texts me like, damn it, Michelle, why in the world would you tell everyone, my whole 51 subs by the time I'm recording this, that I never let you play my games. He let me play them occasionally, just not those ones. Not the ones when I was younger and the memory was there. But no, we used to play together too. So we would do Mario Kart for the Super Nintendo, and we used to play F-Zero together as well. And we tried to do Donkey Kong Country together, but it got to be too arduous, so we wound up not doing that one anymore. By the time we got to like PlayStation 3 and stuff, we really weren't playing games together anymore, because he was in high school and I was in grade school, he was in college and I was in high school, and it was just like a really big gap to still be doing stuff. We were both kind of going through our own shit, and it made it easier to just recluse than reach out for each other. And I'm glad that we've gotten closer now, thank goodness, but yeah, it wasn't the same back then. But in any case, guys, I think we're gonna cut it here. So thank you guys so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye.